Institutional theory, the basics. What are institutions? Scott and Meyer say that they're symbolic and behavioral systems containing representational, constitutional, and normative rules together with regulatory mechanisms that define a common meaning system and give rise to distinctive actors and action routines. Meyer and Rowan say that they're social processes, obligations, or actualities that come to take on a rule-like status in social thought or action. Institutions are the basic building blocks of social, political, and organizational life. They shape behavior, perception, and choices. Institutions include governance structures, social arrangements, norms, rules, and ways of thinking and organizing. Institutions are not organizations. So, why do institutions arise? Well, they reduce transaction costs and meet social needs. Why do they persist? Well, there's costs associated with institutional change, and there are those who are embedded within these institutions. This means that institutions are not always efficient. The backbone of institutional theory is social legitimacy and survival, and there are environmental and organizational structures that work together to achieve these sometimes ambiguous goals. While other theories believe that structures are the most effective way to coordinate and control activities, there are some drawbacks to this thinking. Rules may be violated, decisions may go unimplemented, technologies can be problematic, and evaluation and inspections of progress are sometimes vague in their determinations. These drawbacks occur because structure originates within institutionalized contexts. Activities that are commonplace may be taken for granted. Some services, products, policies, and rules may be adopted ceremonially, and the existence of external norms, which are referred to as rationalized myths, penetrate organizations through shaping their thoughts, their actions, and their structure. The interplay of these activities creates a loose coupling between structure and action. The goal is always the protection of the technical core of the institution. As institutions go through this process, it creates organizational isomorphism, and this helps to ensure survival. What's that? What's isomorphism? Isomorphism is similarity or identity of form, shape, or structure. To create a mental image of what institutional theory looks like, we can put these characteristics to three different pillars that cause institutions to arise, change, and persist. The first is regulative. It operates by coercive isomorphism. It pushes compliance due to expedience, and its indicators are rules, laws, and sanctions. The second is normative. It works through normative isomorphism. It pushes compliance through social obligations, and its indicators are certifications and/or accreditations. The third is cognitive. It works through mimetic isomorphism. It pushes compliance based on what's taken for granted, and its indicator is prevalence. For example, within the institution of education, we might say that an example within the regulative pillar would be that the school has to maintain a safe environment. An example within the normative pillar would be its accreditations and certifications, and one from its cognitive pillar would be that there are teachers and classrooms. To understand how institutional theory works in practice, we have to look at the interaction between these three pillars as they balance out to hold the educational institutions up. For instance, as the cognitive example of there being teachers and classrooms is being replaced by new normative rules involving online instruction, the cognitive and normative pillars change in height and weight, which will throw off the balance of the institutions if they do not adjust. So, isomorphism kicks in to ensure that the individual educational institutions maintain their social legitimacy and survival. This, in a nutshell, is